black thing. This is not a black thing. This is a you thing. This is a you thing, Eric Adams. This is not a black thing. Your policies are anti-black. You are a disgrace to all black people in this city. The things that you have done are unconscionable. You hurt our schools. Our streets are dirty. Our children are harassed by the police. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can shush me all you want, but the people are with us.
We are back with some more further in-depth details in regards to Mayor Eric Adams' indictment. Right now we are on the Rational National YouTube channel and they're about to expose and go in-depth into the indictment, word for word. Sit back and react with your boy. If you like reactions like this, consider hitting that like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell. Let's see how this is about to play out.
The details of this Eric Adams indictment are absolutely hilarious.
Olivia Gonda, it says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Olivia Gonda, I've never said that in my life tour. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Oh, the memories. All right, enough about Toronto. Let's get to the details here of New York City Mayor Eric Adams' indictment. I'm also going to include some clips along the way as well. First, here is the top line. So from Yashir Ali here, New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, federal program bribery, receiving campaign contributions from foreign nationals, wire fraud, 2 counts of solicitation of a contribution by a foreign national, and bribery.
It seems like his only plan was to just collect money, nothing else. New York City is in shambles right now, you understand me? Maybe he thought because he's a Democratic mayor this was gonna, be swiped away. No.
So these details aren't all that hilarious, but the details of how some of this came about are, it's just so comical in how overtly criminal Eric Adams is. So let me give you a little taste. First, here is the full indictment. I'll link to this below the video. But this is a little taste of maybe what to expect here.
New York City is the Istanbul of America.
No.
Istanbul?
I'll play a clip later where he says this about a lot of cities, but it does really in particular apply to Turkey here. So the complaint focuses on trips Adams and his partner took to Turkey, India, and Ghana on Turkey.
How we never saw that right there, right? I mean, he was letting us know a long time ago. And the feds are probably like, yeah, we gonna get this guy right here.
He says this about a lot of cities, but it does really in particular apply to Turkey here. So the complaint focuses on trips Adams and his partner took to Turkey, India, and Ghana on Turkish Airlines, sometimes staying in luxury hotels. That, as an elected official, should have been disclosed to the government, and campaign contributions made by Turkish officials through a system of straw donors. Now, this is where we get to some of the funny stuff. All right. So from Peter Stern here, just to be clear about his where he's from, editor of City and State, New York. So he writes, the indictment claims that an Adams campaign staffer told a potential donor that Adams probably wouldn't want to accept illegal donations, but then checked with Adams and learned that actually he was totally cool with it.
Oh.
So let me just read a bit of this. It is so
crazy.
It's just so comical, just so overtly criminal. So the promoter stated, in part, fundraising in Turkey is not legal, but I think I can raise money for your campaign off the record. The Adams staffer inquired, how will Adams declare that money here? The promoter responded, he won't declare it, or will make the donation through an American citizen in the U.S., a Turk. This is straw donation, which is illegal. I'll give cash to him in Turkey, or I'll send it to an American. He will make a donation to you. The Adams staffer replied, I think he wouldn't get involved in such games. They may cause a big stink later on, but I'll ask anyways. The Adams staffer asked, how much do you think would come from you? The promoter responded, max 100K.
Wow.
The Adams staffer wrote 100K. Do you have a chance to transfer that here? We can't do while Eric is in Turkey, to which the promoter replied, let's think. After this conversation, the Adams staffer asked Adams whether the Adams staffer would pursue the unlawful foreign contributions offered by the promoter, and contrary to the Adams staffer's expectations, Adams directed that the Adams staffer pursue the promoter's illegal scheme.
Wow.
Totally cool with it.
Unbelievable.
And that amounted to defrauding New York City out of $10 million in public funds. So I won't read through all this, but essentially New York City has a public matching funds program where small dollar contributions can be matched by the city. And Eric Adams, through this process, taking money from Turkey through these straw donations, did matching funds for those donations, and which amounted to stealing received more than 10 million in public funds for his campaign.
Wow, that's insane. Now you see why people love being in politics, huh? It's not about changing the world. It's not about making a change. It's about taking change and putting it into their pocket or their bank account. You get me now? Now you're starting to see it, right?
Like, just the brazenness. What is amazing about this? This showcases to me that clearly Adams has gotten away with a hell of a lot in his life.
Facts.
You don't attempt to do something like this unless you already feel emboldened, unless you already have gotten away with a ton of other shit. Like, this is just next level insanity. Now, there are several funny aspects of this. So Matt Bender shares this portion here. This indictment has some of the most incredible Eric Adams isms I've ever seen. This conversation between Eric Adams and his wife is hilarious. So because the Turkish airline provided free travel benefits worth tens of thousands of dollars to Eric Adams, the defendant, he flew the Turkish airline even when doing so was otherwise inconvenient. For example, during the July and August 2017 trip, Adams' partner was surprised to learn that Adams was in Turkey when she had understood him to be flying from New York to France. Adams responded in a text message, "Transferring here, first stop is always Istanbul." When Adams' partner later inquired about planning a trip to Easter Island, Chile, Adams repeatedly asked her whether the Turkish airline could be used for their flights, requiring her to call the Turkish airline to confirm that, of course, they did not have routes between New York and Chile. Like, this guy taking these free flights from Turkey and then trying to apply that to every flight he is taking. Just, again, the comical nature of how criminal all of this is.
You think he's the only one? I'm sure plenty of other mayors got away with that. You understand what I mean? But I say that to say this. He sold the city out for plane tickets? For airplane miles? Nah, you got to do better than that right there. I mean, you sold New York City for cheap. You don't do that.
So, this from The Guardian. In September 2021, 2 months before he was elected New York City mayor, prosecutors alleged Turkish officials called in their debt. So they gave him all this money. Now it's time to pay the Turkish officials back, telling Adams, quote, "It was his turn to repay the Turkish official by pressuring the New York City Fire Department to facilitate the opening of new Turkish consular building, a 36-story skyscraper without a fire inspection, in time for a high-profile visit by Turkey's president." The indictment notes that at the time, the 46-story building close to the UN would have failed a fire department inspection. In exchange for free travel and other travel-related bribes in 2021 and 2022 arranged by the Turkish official, Adams did as instructed.
No wonder the New York City chief of fire department resigned. It's all making sense now. They don't want any attachment with this. They realize they messed up big time. And was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? What are you going to do now? I hope the money you got is going to take you further and further, because you got to reconsider at this point.
So this is when it opened. Here you go. September 2021. Turkey opened skyscraper in New York that towers over UN building. You can see part of the reason why Turkey was really interested in having that ready by the time Erdogan showed up. So there's the building there. And then this is what led to the FBI examining whether Adams cleared red tape for Turkish government. So this was the story that came out in November 2023, where they began to investigate like just the odd nature of why did the mayor force this building open for Turkey? Isn't that weird? So this is when they looked into whether or not he was pressured to do that. And as they write here, the unusual intervention, because it is a very unusual thing to do. Again, you don't pull something like this off without already having gotten away with stuff before, because this is just so brazen, so obvious, so easy and ripe for investigation, that to think you could get away with this, you must have gotten away with a lot already. Really? So this part is also hilarious. Eric Adams changed his phone password while being investigated. He told the FBI he had forgotten the password. that he just set. The details here are even more funny. So this is in a section called Attempt to Conceal Their Criminal Conduct. When Adams produced his personal cell phone the next day in response to a subpoena, it was locked such that the device required a password to open. Adams claimed that after he learned about the investigation into his conduct, he changed the password and increased the complexity of his password from 4 to 6 digits. Adams had done this, he claimed, to prevent members of his staff from inadvertently or intentionally deleting the context of his phone because, according to Adams, he wished to preserve the contents of his phone due to the investigation. Oh, what a swell guy. He made his password tougher so that his staff members, for some reason, wouldn't try and break into his phone. Not sure why they would try and break into his phone and ruin the evidence.
It sounds like this is not his first rodeo, and he knows exactly how to move. But if you ask me, he's moving like a smooth criminal. Not like a mayor. A mayor don't move like that. Well, maybe corrupted mayors do.
But Adams further claimed he had forgotten the password that he just set. The password was so tough that he forgot it himself, even though he just set it. This is like a high school. It's not even high school. This is like a grade 7 kid lying about, forgetting his homework. This is just so comically stupid. Now, here are some of the many trips that he took. As part of the allegations, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York detailed the undisclosed travel benefits accepted by Adams, totaling more than $100,000. So we're talking India, France, Turkey, China, Hungary, Ghana's in there, Turkey's in there several times. It's just comical. And
wow, look at this. Free upgrade to business class for 2 on round trip from New York to Turkey. Free or accepted but steply. Discounted luxury hotel and resort stays, transportation, entertainment, and meals. 21,000 plus.
The value of some of these trips, undisclosed. Now, you may wonder, why would Eric Adams even feel the need to travel around when he's so known for saying this?
Everyone knows that New York City is the Athens of America. It's the Istanbul of America. It's the Kyiv of America. It's the soul of America. We are the Tel Aviv of America. New York City is the Islamabad of America. The Zagreb of America. We are the Lima of America. New York City is Mexico City of America. This is the Dublin of America, New York City.
I had to find a place to put that because that clip just is so funny. But it is only topped by this. As Jake Wilkins writes here, we'll always remember how Eric Adams' pitch for why New York City is so great is that any day you wake up, 9/11 could happen.
When you look at the totality of the year, if you had to describe it, and it's tough to do, in one word, what would that word be, and tell me why?
New York.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person.
Wait a minute. What is he advertising right here? I mean, wasn't that a tragedy right there? Nah. Who elected this guy as the mayor? I sure didn't vote for him. I hope you guys didn't either.
Who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe.
Mm-hmm. All right. The underrated aspect of that clip is that he describes the year in one word as New York City, which is not one word. And also, how do you describe a year with the name of the city that you're living in? And then, of course, the best part is still the 9/11 could happen any day. That's why it's a great city.
How does that make it great?
Eric Adams is so ridiculous. So a little more to wrap up here on the actual topic at hand. So Eric Adams has been indicted. Who is calling on him to resign? So far, more than 30 elected officials. In terms of high-profile ones or higher-profile national ones, AOC is one of them.
Well, we already know AOC should also be resigning too, because we're tired of her. I know I am.
And she actually came out to call for his resignation before the indictment was public. But writing here, I do not see how Mayor Adams can continue governing New York City. The flood of resignations and vacancies are threatening government function. Non-stop investigations will make it impossible to recruit and retain a qualified administration. For the good of the city, he should resign. And the public advocate, apparently, if Mayor Adams were to resign, which I would be stunned if he did, because he's not the kind of person that seems like he would do that. If he were to resign, Jermaine Williams, who is the public advocate, who, from what I don't know much about him, but he seems like he'd be a much better replacement for Eric Adams. He would come in to fill the role until a new election is called. Worth noting that the business community still backing Adams, kind of showing you where his support is. Oh, but it's with New Yorkers. No, it's with big business. That's who is supporting him, is big business, and Turkey, I suppose. Last thing here, let me play this full clip. This is his first appearance, public appearance, where he is shouted down, and it is incredible.
Greater New York saying that this is not a black thing. This is not a black thing. This is a youth thing. This is a youth thing, Eric Adams. This is not a black thing. You're
One thing that Adams like to do, he likes to laugh it off. This is him deflecting everything right now. He really wants to say something, but he knows he can't. But I'm telling you, he is probably going to try to figure out who was that gentleman that was screaming in the background.
policies are anti-black. You are a disgrace to all black people in this city. The things that you have done are unconscionable. You hurt our schools. Our streets are dirty. Our children are harassed by the police. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can shush me all you want, but the people are with us. And this is not a black thing. This is a justice thing.
First of all, I want to thank you for being here this morning.
So the people are not buying it. Now,
Well, it's not.
I have covered Eric Adams in the past. It's funny, like, I forget half of the stuff I've discussed because I cover so much every day. It's impossible for me to retain all this information in my brain. But I know in one of these videos about Eric Adams, I discussed some of his failed policies, including, or I guess maybe from his perspective, successful policies in his defunding of various programs that hurt the people of New York City that he's claiming to represent. But if you search Eric Adams on my channel, you see some videos that pop up. Look up Olay, by the way. I'll link to her channel below the video. I'm sure Olay's going to have an incredible video on Eric Adams. She is the #1 critic of Eric Adams and was the person that faced him on The Breakfast Club. You see a little clip there. Did a fantastic job doing that. So check out Olay's channel for more on this in the future.
Nah, she definitely went in on that. I also reacted to that same video. I will put the link in the bio. Listen, I'm from New York City, so I'm telling you from experience, everything that they saying right now about Eric Adams, believe it. Believe it. This city is upside down right now, from the economy all the way down to the migrant situations. Everything is just upside down over here. We need serious help. We need real leadership. We need someone who's going to come over here and clean out the swamp. You understand what I mean? With that being said, go in the comments, run it up, flood it up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.